What's up, Cougar Nation? This is Tyler Batty.
Tyler Batty again.
Tyler Batty comes in the game and right off the edge, just the three-man rush.
Welcome on into the Cougar Tracks Podcast. I'm your BYU insider, Mitch Harper for KSLSports.com. It's your favorite Cougar Tracks episode of the week, the edition with BYU football captain and star defensive end, Tyler Batty. Every single week throughout the football season, I catch up with Tyler. And coming off the bye week, and we talked about the bye week a little bit last week, you were expecting to welcome back your brother-in-law. How was that experience back from his mission?
It was awesome. Yeah, actually. So, Friday night, we went up to the airport and welcomed him home. And that's always a super special experience for everyone. You know, after 2 long years, especially for sure. His parents and siblings, it was a special moment.
That's awesome. Did you go camping at all? I know you brought up that idea.
We did not go camping. Plans kind of changed. It was a busy weekend, so plans changed. We ended up doing a fire, and we did some. I cooked some Dutch oven cobbler, some apple cobbler.
Are you a cook?
I am.
We've gone over this before. I remember this now, but is that Dutch oven? Is that some of your specialties?
Yeah. Okay. It's just growing up, at least my family. Mm-hmm. Anytime we'd go camping, it was always. My mom was always, cooking Dutch oven, the shake and bake chicken, potatoes and bacon.
Hobo dinner?
Yeah, we did. We would do the hobo dinner. We'd do the tinfoil dinners as well. But normally if we were doing Dutch oven, we saved the tinfoil dinners for another night. So.
Well, we'll see what you got cooking up this week as the Cougars get ready to take on TCU. It's good to know that got some cooking off the field done too on the bye week. But all in all, good bye week then for you?
It was a great bye week. Yeah, we got some good practice in, and then we got some good, some good relaxed time to kind of freshen up the bodies. Guys were able to go home and say hi to their families, which is, awesome to be able to do mid-season. It's a long season. So, yeah, it was a really good week.
You bring up the bodies. How are you feeling health-wise coming out of the bye?
Great. Yeah, feeling great. Can't complain. It's bumps and bruises per usual, but nothing crazy.
Now it's back to a usual week. It feels like, these buys, whenever they do happen, it feels like it creates a situation where you haven't played in like a month. It feels like, at least I don't know from your perspective, I don't know if it feels like it's gone quicker, but how has practice been this week in preparation for TCU?
Really good. I think honestly, we've had some of our best practices of the season, to be honest. I think, Monday was a good day. Yesterday was also a great day. We were in full pads yesterday. Yesterday was a great day. And then today again in shells was also a great day of work. Guys, at least defensively, we're flying around, making plays, communicating well. Offensively, we did have some crossover with the offense, and the offense was playing well as well. So it's this week's been a really good week of practice.
BYU and TCU on Saturday, 1:30 kick. It's a day game, Tyler, and it's been making the rounds on social media and even on popular message board Reddit. You guys are the vampire team now. You're being dubbed because you guys have so much success at night. Even my producer, Nate Slack, on Cougar Sports Saturday and Extended Pregame, he's been tracking this since 2019, the whole 6 p.m. day game thing. I have a feeling I know how you're going to answer this based on your previous answers about uniforms, but are we overblowing this whole day and night thing?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
I think so. You're probably right.
I think most of I think there's been other conditions that have made some of our day games hard. We've played a lot of away day games, middle of the day. You think 21, Baylor. You think last year, maybe Oregon was what time? It
was 1:30. Yeah.
1:30 kick. Yeah. Again, another away game, and so I would say there's different factors. I think the teams that we've played away in the middle of the day are really good at home. I think you look at Kansas. If you want, you want to throw that in there as well. They're a really good team, and they're really good at home. I think some people forget that home field advantage. I really think they do. I think we take advantage of it when we're at home. I know we do. I think you look back to like 21 when we played ASU and Utah back-to-back games. Yep. That's the loudest I've ever heard our stadium. It was insane. I think that ASU game was nuts, right? Backed
the
up. The false starts. There were like 4 of them in a row. And anyways, so I think there's definitely other factors when we've played day games that have, maybe factored into how we've played.
That is a good point. And the home field, it's shown itself too in the Big 12 Conference. Last week, Oklahoma State took down K-State, the defending champ, and everyone was saying Oklahoma State's left for dead, and then they win at home. First Friday night game since 1956. So, home playing on the road it's tough to do and to get wins, and that's the task in front of you guys this week.
Yeah. With that being said, I love road games.
Yep.
I do. For the most part. I would say sometimes, if we're traveling back to the East Coast and we're going out there and we're there 2 days before, and again, there's a reason road games can be difficult at times. I personally I do love road games. I think it's fun in a lot of aspects. You get to travel with your guys, right? You're with your teammates. You get to go see a new stadium, a new city, perhaps. And just the environment, playing in another stadium, the environment there, and just kind of checking things out. And then of course, I think I enjoy the challenge of playing away and in someone else's stadium, and I find it really fun.
I hope too this week that with it being a bigger city, some of these Big 12 towns are a little bit smaller, so it can cause some logistical hurdles.
Oh yeah.
I hope that your guys' hotel is close to the stadium. That's been a kind of a thing too. I remember at Lawrence in Kansas, you guys were in Overland Park, kind of in the distance, and then Waco, you guys were way far out from Baylor. Yeah. So I hope this week you guys are relatively close. You don't have to disclose the location, so TCU fans are hitting up the late night room calls.
I will say this. We have had, I think, there's 2 times I can remember where people have pulled the fire alarm on us.
Really?
Yeah. So I think last year when we were, I think it may have been the Liberty game.
That makes perfect sense.
We're,
jeez.
We were out there, and this one was late. Like everyone was already in bed. It was probably 11 o'clock, midnight, and someone pulled the fire alarm.
Wow.
And then actually, versus Kansas as well. This year.
Really?
Yeah. That was a bit earlier. We weren't in bed. Yeah, that was probably like 8:30.
Okay.
Someone pulled the fire alarm as well.
That Liberty one had to have been brutal.
Yeah, that was everyone.
And it makes sense because they were gunning for that game. That was their Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But all I know is someone pulled the fire alarm that night, and everyone comes out into the hallway. Like everyone's like looking at each other. Are we actually going to go down, or is it one of those times where you just go back in your room and you go back to sleep? And that's what we all did. We all just went back in our rooms, and sure enough, it shut off. We didn't file out. You kind of know, it's like one of those things. It's like, all right, what are the odds of the hotel actually burning down right now? Pretty low. So I think it's a safe bet someone was just pulling a prank.
I do remember one time from the media perspective, there was a fire alarm that went off when Kalani was holding a press conference. And all of us knew already that it was just faulty. It was in the stadium, and it was just having issues throughout the post game. Kalani didn't know, so he was worried. He's like, "Why are you guys just all sitting here? Like, are we safe?" And then Brett Pine comes up and says, "We're good. We're getting it taken care of." And he's like, "Well, it's kind of hard to talk, with the fire alarm." No, that's good.
Good impression. Good impression.
I've been working on it. One of these days, I'm gonna drop it on Kalani and go, yeah, like I just want to love and learn and a good football team. Like we got to get better. In so many ways. Like I don't know. I'm struggling right now. I got to master it to get ready. It's a form of flattery. Kalani's a great guy. I think part of it too for me. I hear these coaches so much, so I interview, I hear the comments, and then I transcribe it, so I'm listening to it in my ears. It's like I'm just listening over and over. It's kind of like if I was ever a comedian, I'd be like that Joey Molinaro guy where it's observational humor. That would be my niche because I just observe weird things.
Oh, totally.
And then try to incorporate for humor, I guess.
No, that's good. I think you got to change the tone just a little bit. I think that's
ramp
where
it
you're
up?
off. Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know if it's. I think it's just a little bit off. I think the presentation, the enunciation. I think that's good.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, no, it's getting there.
I don't think I would say it in front of Timberly and the kids, but hey, Kalani had a birthday this week. Did the team do anything for Kalani?
Said happy birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Is
in
it
our team
allowed in the
meeting-
NCAA to give your coach a gift or something?
Honestly, I don't know. That's a good
Kalani
question.
accept something from you guys?
That's a good question. I don't know. But everyone said happy birthday. We went over in team meeting, and so yeah, he did celebrate a birthday this week.
What does Kalani mean to this program, you think?
A ton. I think that's hard to describe like that
That's
alone.
a loaded question.
Yeah. No. I mean, I would say he's the heart and soul, if you will, of just like the culture, the program. Yeah, I think he's just, to me personally, and to a lot of guys that have been on the team previously, he's been a great mentor to a lot of guys, just individually, a great example. Aside from being a great coach, right? And that's something, right? He's really big on is football's great, but there's other things, outside of football. And that I think that helps keep things in perspective. And I also think it allows us to play better, if you will. I just don't know how many coaches you have that tell you to count your blessings before a game. You know what I mean? Like that's their pregame speeches is, hey, think about the sacrifices of your parents, your family members, your other coaches, whoever, your teammates. Think about the sacrifices that have been made to get you here. You know what I mean? I don't know of another coach giving that speech to his players pregame. And so I think it's just really cool. And again, I think our team unity can be attributed to him, the way he coaches, and the culture he has established, and the players uphold is just taking care of each other. And even though it may seem like a distraction, like why is he worrying about things outside of football? We should focus on football. It's like, well, actually, those when you're living right, you're living right. When you're living right in all aspects of your life, it's only going to help your performance with your teammates and as a team. So why wouldn't you, include those things? So I know it's a long-winded answer,
it's good stuff.
But I love Kalani, and he means a lot to me personally and a lot to the team. So
I remember he was, you were part of his second recruiting class so early in the Kalani tenure. He was very high on you coming out of Payson High School, and it's it's worked out. I mean, since you've been here at BYU on the field since 2020. 33 wins in that time. Kalani's got total 60 wins as a head coach at BYU, so you've been part of more than half of Kalani's wins as he got win 60 against Cincinnati a couple weeks ago. Now he's looking for win 61 against TCU coming up this Saturday. TCU's got a good ground attack, Tyler. Amani Bailey, running back, he's fourth nationally in rushing yards, 690 yards. What's it going to take to contain Bailey?
Good tackling. Yeah, we've watched a lot of film on him. We've talked a lot about him. He's a really, really good running back. Good speed, good vision. He runs hard, and so he's a really good back. And so what it's going to come down to is everyone playing gap sound, and when it's your turn to take him down, guys just have to tackle well, wrap him up right, and gang tackle and bring him down.
TCU's also going through some change expected at quarterback. Chandler Morris expected to be out with an MCL injury. Josh Hoover expected to be in. He got some time against Iowa State. How has that maybe changed the preparation going into this week, knowing that they're going to have a different quarterback?
Yeah, a little bit, right? I think each team has an identity, right? What they're going to do on offense. Chandler Morris he's a little bit more of a runner. Mm-hmm. He's a little bit more mobile, and so that was something that we were prepping for, is to be able to also contain him. And as well. And so I think this changing quarterback, their backup, he throws it really well. He can throw the ball really well. Still mobile, right? I wouldn't say he's quite as mobile as Chandler is, but they're still a really good offense, and we fully expect him, especially with what we saw in the Iowa State game, is he can handle the offense. He's very confident in it. Clearly knows how to run the offense, and so he's also very capable. So it's honestly hasn't changed too much of our preparation for them, but of course it's something to note.
They got a pretty good offensive line too, so there'll be some good battles there in the trenches for you guys. But this is a TCU team that's reeling a little bit, 3-3, which maybe some were not expecting, some being the media, as they were coming off a national championship game appearance. Has that made you guys, I don't know, take your guard down, or are you guys still like, hey, this team's more than enough capable?
No, they're super capable, and so that's what people tend to forget. You look at records and you're like, oh, well, they're 3-3. Okay, the 3 games they lost by a combined 20, 30 points maybe. You know what I mean? It's really, those games have been a lot closer than people realize, and I think it's super interesting. I even look back on our wins, right, in past seasons since I've been here. And I'm like, holy crap, that game was that close. We won that game by 3 points, or we won that game by 1 point, or we won that game by a touchdown. And it's just like, at the end of the day, a win's a win.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it wasn't a dogfight to get it, right? And so I think people tend to forget that when they look at records.
19 points total for TCU's 3 losses. 2 of them were by 3 points each. West Virginia's undefeated in the Big 12 right now, and Colorado with Coach Prime kind of came out of the gate swinging and kind of caught everyone off guard because no one knew what to truly expect from that Colorado team. So yes, they've got an up-tempo offense. They bring in Kendall Brown as the offensive coordinator, so they're going to bring tempo. Do you guys feel ready for that? Because they like to get a lot of plays off.
Yeah. I think we are. That's definitely something we've prepared for this week in practice, knowing that. And I think our defense has handled it well.
BYU, TCU, 1:30 kick. Again, extended pregame going to take place at 11 a.m. here on KSL News Radio. I'll be coming to you from Fort Worth to get you ready for the Cougars and the Horned Frogs. There's a little bit of history, Tyler, between BYU and TCU from their days in the Mountain West Conference. I was talking with BYU quarterback Cade Finnegan, your teammate, a little bit earlier this week, and he's a Dallas native, and he remembers going to a few of those BYU TCU games as a young kid. Do you remember as a kid growing up any of those BYU TCU games back in the day?
No, honestly,
no, not any of them. Hey, I appreciate the honesty.
I hear stories, from our coaches, but
K-pop hasn't told you anything about those days.
That's what I'm saying. I've heard a ton from them. But for me growing up, I don't remember any of those.
That was a good series back in the day, and I appreciate the honesty because I think sometimes the media will we're looking at storyline, but it's like that has no impact. I love the history as much as anyone, but I got to remind myself what happened in 2008 has no bearing on what's going to happen between the lines on a Big 12 game on Saturday.
Ripe 9 years old in 2008. So it was a little bit ago.
But one thing I will say that's similar between BYU and TCU is that there's a lot of similarities in the sense that career or program arcs where they've always been maybe viewed as an underdog. At least that's my perspective, and they've reached high levels of college football despite being viewed as an underdog. So there's kind of some synergy between the two programs, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's definitely something we share, right? They're clearly they're a great team. They were probably viewed as underdogs all last year, right? And then they make it to the national championship game, and so I think BYU, again, we're viewed as underdogs most of the time as well, and so I think that's something we definitely share.
Did you get any chance to watch any Big 12 football games last weekend? Did you take the chance to kind of glance around the league? Because I know the last few weeks I haven't. It's been kind of fun to see it all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been super fun, again, being in a conference because you're like, oh, wait, we're actually going to play those guys. We're just like, what's happening in the conference, right? Who's playing who? I try to pretty much watch as much as I can.
Yeah, it was kind of fun to watch Red River and think, those are teams you guys are going to face coming up a little bit later this month. A bunch of Texas teams this month here in October for BYU, and it all starts with TCU. Well, Tyler, we'll cut this one a little bit short this week as it was coming off a bye. We'll get back to it next week. BYU and TCU should be a good one in DFW. Best of luck, Tyler. Stay healthy, and we'll talk next week.
Thanks, Mitch.
All right, that's Tyler Batty here on the Cougar Tracks Podcast every single week. Follow Tyler on Instagram, Tyler_Batty, and we will be back next week here on the Cougar Tracks Podcast. It's always powered by KSL Sports.